Hey guys, Shannon here from Bitcoin Bankers. Please subscribe, please like if you like the material that's going on here. I don't come out that often lately. I do have other study and things that I'm doing in my life. I'm doing this because I try to just focus on the markets and things like that. The reason I'm doing this video this week is because I've been sort of sitting back and just wanting to see how people react and how people talk regarding the drop in the market, in the crypto market we're talking about, okay? And there's a number of people coming out. There's a few that keep doing their old tricks and pulling their old bullshit and keep saying the same thing over and over. And there's a few others who are, I think they mean well, but they have an agenda, okay? Now, if you go to the last video that I looked at, I talked about let's not build other people's pyramids, okay? And it basically means don't all just get around an idea and try and put your block in for the idea and say, oh, I made this, and praise yourself and praise other people who you think are pharaohs. There's a lot of people out there running around acting like pharaohs, but I'm not going to get onto that. Very recently, last few weeks, I've been watching a few different people, and Vays is one of them, and so I'll get to him in a minute. But, there's a video that came out by Silvergoldman, and there's a few things on that I might make a comment about as well. But you got your usual scammers. You got JSNIP 4. He's still he's getting desperate. He's getting desperate now. Okay, he's now using kooks and psychics to try and remote viewers and all this kind of thing to try and manipulate and see where the price of Bitcoin and Litecoin and all these cryptos might be going. And the data that he presents to you is always manipulated. So, if you want to watch him. I simply watch to have a good laugh sometimes because he's just so ridiculous. It's just unbelievable. He's all, trader boss has kind of disappeared. He had him on the other day, and they were just talking total bullshit all the time. He's going to this white dove lady. Suddenly they're making calls on crypto. They're using psychic gifts. Look, I believe we all have a psychic element to ourselves. It's very easily accessible. There's nothing special about it. It's an old remnant from who we were long ago. Okay, but one thing is kind of always a bit of a. I kind of had a bit of a problem when they start using these gifts and things to look at the price of movement in cryptos and try and make a profit. Okay, it's never going to be accurate. Okay, because there's so much randomness in the future itself. The way that the future ebbs and flows and fluxes and moves, it's full of potential, and the potential can be swayed so many different ways all the time. So there is a more likely outcome of something happening, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. Okay, so if you're putting your faith on someone who goes to psychics to get the price of bitcoins and other altcoins and things for the future, I gotta warn you to please be careful. Really, just make your own decisions. Learn how to use the trades and things like that. One other thing with Snippy, I was going to think about putting a challenge to him. He has gone on for so long claiming that he's so good at trading and he knows how to pick these, and he's got Trader Boss and the web bots and all these people. Why is it after spending so much time with all these experts that the guy still can't basically read a chart? He doesn't know one thing from the other. He hasn't even made an attempt. Now he'll say, oh, that's just not me, I don't do that. But he did say when his earlier relationship with Trader Boss, that he was going to learn this stuff. And he's had so much interaction with a guy who's made millions of dollars off these things. Wouldn't you take every opportunity to learn about the movement, the price charts and all this sort of thing, and price action, and learn about some of the tools and all this sort of thing? The guy has no idea after all this time because he hasn't learned a fucking thing. Okay? Because these other guys don't know a fucking thing. They're full of shit. They change their story all the time. But you know this. I'm not going to get there. So, you haven't seen the three amigos around for a while either. They've all kind of moved away and hiding out and doing their own thing while the price is down, aren't they? Cliff High got a number of calls wrong recently. But like I said, I'm over dealing with those idiots, okay, because they're idiots. And if you don't see it, hopefully you will soon. I'll leave it at that. Now, the Silvergoldman, he attacked a fella the other day twice now. A guy called Philakone, who I actually suggested, I think it was late last year. I said, go have a look at the way he's doing it. Look at how he's expressing some of these tools, and he's really meticulous about the way that he does things. Philakone does not charge anyone. He does not run any courses. All his information is for free. And he does have one thing on his website as a bit of a joke to say, buy my dog a vodka or shout me a coffee, make a donation. No expectations whatsoever. He doesn't charge anyone for his information, and a big part of what he uses, among other tools, is Elliott Wave. Now, Silvergoldman said Elliott Wave is a fraud, and Philakone is a fraud, and rah, rah, rah. I challenge him to meet. Well, he runs around challenging everyone to meet him. Okay, take me head on. Rah, rah, I'll show you, mate. The reason why half these people don't is because it's a waste of time to try and deal with you. Okay, if you don't think Elliott Wave is worthy, then who cares? It's proven to work, and it's simply a price indicator. Just like Bollinger Band, just like RSI, just like the stochastic, just like everything else. The histograms, they're all tools. Use your fucking brains, all of you. These are just tools to try and reduce as much risk in our price movements as possible. If you can't understand this, then get out of the fucking game. Really. Stop being so jealous that someone else has an idea and they're doing it for free. Because it's taken away, and I've heard Silvergoldman, he's taken away from my business. I'm trying to sell my charts and this guy's doing it for free. That's why he's angry. That's why he's trying to pull shit on other people and trying to make them look stupid or make them out of fraud. And like Tone Vays, everyone's a fraud except them. You know, I'm getting sick of this bullshit. Okay? So the best thing is switch them off. Okay, switch them off, and it's getting very hard now to find people who tell the truth, offer it up. You know, if they want to charge something on a private group, well, then that's your business if you want to buy it, if you think, you know, if they can show that they have a track record that it works. Okay? Now, I used to listen to Silvergoldman a bit when I moved away from Snippy and saw all the bullshit Snippy when I just had enough. You know, and I saw Silvergoldman was, you know, exposing a few things, and he does a good job at exposing some of that stuff. Sometimes he fucks up. You know, I fucked up when I was trying to look at a few things as well. But so what? Make a mistake, you admit it, you move on. And, however, when you're starting to call someone like Philakone a fraud, when he does everything for free while you're charging $500 for your calls and your classes and all this bullshit, okay, and $1,000 for all these classes, you know, come on, mate. And you also took, what, it was $100,000 in Bitcoin off people, and then it went down another $4,000 after you got it around $10,000, $12,000, and then, you know, their cryptos went down to about 6. Now it's sitting about 7 or 8. You know, you took all that money and you bought all that stuff, and, you know, you're building miners and stuff. Well, I think you're mining Monero, and there's something about Bitmine. I think it's a Bitmine? Bitminers? Some company like that. They're actually releasing all these new Bitcoin miner computers because the other ones are going to be shit after Monero forks. They're going to be useless, right? So there's all these things going on. You know, there's just so much going on in the crypto market. Frauds at every corner. There's bullshit artists at every corner. There's very selfish, greedy people at every corner. And now we have the move, as you probably heard in the news this week, most of you, about Rockefellers and George Soros coming into the market. Now, both Silvergoldman and Tone Vays said they think it's great that these guys are coming in. Why? It's horrible these guys are coming. We don't want those sorts of assholes in our crypto market. We don't. Okay? Bitcoin is heavily manipulated already. Massively manipulated. Okay? It's very, very hard to see Bitcoin natural price movement. Okay, it just doesn't exist anymore. Same with the whole market. I mean, look what happened a little while ago with that guy from Japan who just dumped, was it like 18,000 Bitcoin at worth about 10,000 each at the time on the market. Just dumped it. Yeah, bang, bang. And then turns around and says, I had nothing to do with that. I didn't actually affect the price. Bullshit. You know? So it's happening all the time. So my goal personally is to probably hopefully see if I can make a bit of profit off these coins by the end of the year, and I might probably just jump out, because when you get the likes of George Soros coming in, it's just and the Rockefellers, they're gonna fuck this thing like you wouldn't believe. You can't play a rigged game, guys. You're not going to win. George Soros, from his own mouth, spoke when he was young. One of his favourite memories was turning in his neighbours to the Nazis. Okay? He came from his own mouth. He said, it was one of my favourite times of my life. The Nazis came, I helped them clean out my neighbourhood, all his Jewish neighbours and Jewish friends and family. He turned them over to the Nazis and said it was one of the best times of his life. This guy's a psychopath. You want to do business with someone like this? You want to trade with someone? You want someone like this in your trade pool? You're fucked in the head. Sorry, you're fucked in the head if you think these guys getting in are gonna make something happen for you. Okay? It's not. They're gonna kill this shit. Okay? They're gonna take it over, manipulate it the same way they've done everything else. Now, the problem with Tone Vays as well and Silvergoldman, they're used to working stock market stuff. Now, the crypto market is not the stock market. They keep bringing their same expectations that they've had in the stock market to the cryptos and think it's going to behave a certain way. It doesn't. Okay? And now that it's manipulated, no one knows where it's going. We just had a big, massive break in the shorts, 24 hours, 48 hours ago. And fucking heaps of people lost money on that shit. You know? Heaps. Because suddenly, just out of the blue, it just jumped up $1,200, $1,500. Okay? Now, let's get to Tone Vays I was talking. Alright? I will get to some charts soon too. But, okay, so Tone Vays, I've been listening to him just to hear what he has to say, because I watched the ridiculous interview he had with Cliff Moron, Captain Cockhead, Cliff High, the fraud, probably the biggest fraud on YouTube is Cliff High. Okay? So you could see Tone Vays was very skeptical, and that interview exposes a lot about what Cliff does, and the 99% of it is his own speculation. Okay, all the webbots do is fish out a few different words, and then he writes and constructs a theory and a belief around that word based on values and emotional values. Total bullshit. All right. Anyway, recently, just over the last few days, in some of their conversations, Tone Vays on his channel has been saying that he felt sorry for Mark Zuckerberg. I don't know why. The guy's worth billions and billions of dollars for ripping off someone else's idea, handing over his own personal information and knowing this other stuff. You really think he did not know that all this was going on from these other companies? Come on. How much do you think he made out of these other companies doing that? If you can't see these obvious basic truths, close your eyes and go back to bed. Okay? Go back to zombie land. If you can't see what's going on here, you know, and that, you know, the world is a stage and we are its players. That's why Shakespeare said that. He knew it was all bullshit. This whole thing is a play. It's a game. It's all staged. Okay? Wake up. But then Tone Vays says, in regards to a fellow who was suing the bank because they changed the terms and conditions of his contract when he was using credit cards to buy his cryptos. Right? Now, they charged him something like $120, and as usual, he's gone and sued for $1 million, which is ridiculously exorbitant, but they always aim high, so that way it gives them room when they negotiate so they can come down. He might walk away with 50 grand or 100 grand. But anyway, Tone Vays says he sided with the banks. Big surprise, but not to me, but he sided with the banks because he felt that this guy was being wrong and behaving badly, and he felt the banks had a right to change their conditions. Well, when you sign a contract, you don't actually have one party to a contract doesn't actually have the right to change the conditions of the contract without the explicit consent of the other person knowing. Now, sending them an email with, it's pages long, okay, is not really consent, but corporations will try and use this game to get your consent. Say, well, we sent it to you and you acknowledge it. We're alerting you that we have changed it. It's like, well, you can't just go and change something without another person's consent. And just sending them a notification that you've already changed it is not consent. Okay, that's a breach of contract. It really is. Okay, and so he has a right to sue. So Tone Vays sides with banks when they rip people off and pull shifties. He sides with and feels sorry for people like Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, he thinks that Ethereum is a scam. He thinks that EOS is a scam simply because they had one term in their terms of agreement with the ICO, because that term of agreement said that the coin is essentially has no apparent value on its face, whatever, once the coin is initiated, which everyone should know anyway, because you're buying into something that will be built at a later date. Just because when you buy it has no value now doesn't mean it won't have value in the future. I mean, what real value does Bitcoin have? I can't go in Australia here. I can't go down the shop and buy a pie and a drink and buy my lunch and then go buy a pair of shoes and do some shopping with Bitcoin. No one accepts it here. Now, we might have a few Bitcoin ATMs around the country. I think there's 3. But the exchanges take a long time, and it's, as usual, it's all slow. So what value does Bitcoin have other than the fact that people believe in it because it's decentralized? It's an idea. You're putting value on an intangible, okay? Bitcoin itself is a mathematical formula. That's all it is. It's a digital mathematical formula that perpetuates and creates itself to a certain limit. So there are a certain amount there, and then they will be held. It's a digital currency. It's intangible. It's not actually a real thing, so to speak. So it's basically intellectual property, and its value is in its intellectual value. Okay, so Bitcoin itself really is a scam as well. If you really want to say that, or if you really want to say that Ethereum's a scam, well then so is everything else. I mean, really, come on. So, look, at the end of the day, these guys have agendas. It's when something else comes along, like they crapped on Ripple, they always crap on Ripple. A lot of people put crap on Ripple. You know what? Ripple's actually made me some pretty good money. Okay, it has. I like it. And you know what? It is centralized, being used for banks and rah, 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 rah. But if it keeps the banks a lot more honest, great. Yeah? If it replaces the SWIFT, and this is what Tony's pretty much afraid of. He wants Bitcoin to replace the SWIFT system. I think Ripple will replace the SWIFT system because it's already inherent in the banks. All they got to do is just start to transfer and make that changeover and get rid of SWIFT. It'll happen like that. Yeah? Use your brains. They're not going to accept Bitcoin to take over SWIFT. It will be Ripple, or it could be another similar kind of coin. Most likely Ripple. All right? Because it's in over 120 banks around the world. Okay, now you might not like it, but see how long you last without your bank at the moment. Because you can't sell your cryptos without bring it back to fiat, which is what a lot of people do. That's why they're in it. That's why the majority invest. Now, there's the idealists and things like that, and that's fine, but that's why these guys are in it, the majority of people. They want to get some crypto, buy it, hold it for a little while, sell it, make some money, and go buy a nice car. Let's be honest. It's a chance to invest, and they'll stay, and they want to keep turning over profit. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to get on some ridiculous fucking ideology that you think Bitcoin is the only true way and all the others are bullshit because they wrote a term in the contract or because this, because that, but I like banks and I like George Soros and I'm glad they're getting into my system and they're going to work Bitcoin with us. Oh, I think that's great. You're a fucking idiot. If you really believe that, you're upside down, man. One half of your brain's this way and the other half is fucking that way. There's something wrong with you if you think Rockefellers, Soros getting in the market. I feel sorry for Zuckerberg. Oh, the bank should have a right to screw everyone over and change the contract however they feel like. Where the fuck are you? Oh, but Bitcoin should be the only way and it's the only true thing. You're all over the fucking place, man. You know, get the fuck out of here. That's bullshit. Use your brains. What's wrong with you? Either you want a decentralized market or you want a centralized market. And you can't have sympathy for the behavior of the centralized markets and then pump decentralized currency that will eliminate these people you feel sorry for. And then hope that the people who built this system come in and pump Bitcoin up. And you're fucked in the head, man. It's no wonder you talk like this. You sound like Mogsy from Warner Brothers. You know, come on. People, if you want to listen to these idiots, your choice, man, your choice. But I don't build people's pyramids. I don't contribute to them at all. Okay, let's have a look at these markets. I'm going to switch over to the screen and we're going to go up here. Okay, now this video I'm going to show you here, this was my call, bit of analysis I did on the 26th of December last year. Before everyone else was saying this, that, and the other, you know, I gave a bit of a prediction on Litecoin, and you'll see that it goes down to, I actually show it go down to between $117 to about $145. Now, where is it right now? $128. It's between $114 and $140, $50. Okay? And I'll show you. Turn the volume up. So there's another way you could look at it, okay? Either way, look, we could be in for a bit of a downward move. I'll just move this across to here. Across there. We could be in for that sort of downward motion with Litecoin here, guys. So just be wary. We've got a doji forming here. And what do dojis mean? They usually mean a reversal in direction, a change in direction, okay? So just be wary of that. Litecoin could be going down, and then once it sort of continues to correct itself, it'll, you know, maybe later in the year, maybe March, February, could shoot off again. This here is just a very rough speculation. If you really want to get it right like this, and even that sees us going out to about the end of this week. Okay, so just turn this down. So there you see, I'm just rough speculation. You know, all these people coming out going, I made the best calls in the world. Well, I don't know what I'm doing with all half of this stuff, you know, but I was able to easily use Elliott Wave to follow the rules and see where it was going, and then made a retracement and say, okay, February, March, we should be hitting around this level, and then hopefully it'll take off. Well, it's still sort of sitting around April. We've had a recent move early April. You know, I didn't need webbots for it. I didn't need fucking other people's price actions for it. I did it myself. Is it perfect? No. Okay. Then there's another video of mine. Let's go to my channel here for a minute. Where I was looking at the prices here, you know, and I even say, look, it's gone off here. But this here is an outlook for the year. This is kind of where I see it moving possibly for the year, and you'll hear that in my videos. Okay. I'm not perfect. Not perfect. I don't want to be perfect. No one is, because everyone's out here talking so much bullshit. You know, they're all so busy pushing their agendas, they're not paying attention to what the fuck's going on. Alright? So, anyway, as you can see, this is still my original drawing. This is where I put these in ages and ages and ages ago, back months ago. I've just left them there. I've left my chart there pretty much as it is, so you can all see it. I don't go changing things. I don't go mucking around with things. I don't go trying to jip people. Okay? And I said, here is the lowest level. I set that as my lowest level. Okay, and I did the same thing on Bitcoin. All right, and Litecoin. And what did it come down to? Look, that's the thing there. 105. It came down to 109, 107, something like that. Probably could still come down to about high 90s. Could still come down to the high 90s. Okay. So let's have a look at Bitcoin. Yeah. See, there was a support line I put in. Just a basic trend line going down. Where did I put that? That's around the 6.8, 6.7. And where did, look where it went. Right where I put it. Guys, I'm not an expert. I don't know how to really do this. I just sat down and learned to put in support lines, to use Bollinger Band, to use the stochastic with the RSI, to use the MACD. I use all these tools together, okay? And I do it to try and reduce the amount of risk that's going to come towards me. I want to be able to avoid as much unpredictability as possible. But when these things happen, these big pumps, right? This is that big pump that happened the other day. You know, it's very hard to just see that coming. However, you can use, I'll put this in for now, you can use Bitcoin shorts, right? If you're not sure. If you're not sure, go to the Bitcoin shorts. See, there's that big drop we had the other day. This is a daily chart. These are Bitcoin shorts. When it's going up, it means these are shorts, yeah? It means people are making money from shorting. With this big drop, because we're looking at the shorts, okay, this big drop means the shorts ended and the price went up. The Bitcoin price went up, even though we're looking at down, because short is simply the reverse of going long, is the price going up. So the shorts are going up, okay, but the crashes, okay, and then the price is going up. So it's having a positive motion for us and a negative motion for people who are shorting, okay? So that's a big break in the short profit, yeah? And it falls down, which means to us the opposite happened. If you're just doing normal trading, that's that big rise there. That big red bar before is that big rise there, okay? So, I'm not going to get into what the market is kind of doing and direction in this video, but you can see that it has found some good support here. It's beginning to cross the average, okay, the moving average here. Once it gets on top of that, it can stay there and start to pump off. And we could be looking at the market starting to come back, okay? We're not quite sure if it will continue down this line. I think it's over. There may be another drop, but I really don't think so. I don't think it's going to go down, but look, it could go down to the 6, it could go down to here, okay, the 5.1, you know, but there's got to be reasons for it going to those lows, guys. There's got to be reasons why it's going to go to that low. Now, let's have a look on the weekly. All right, there is still room for this to continue down lower. Okay, you could say it's not over. It's not over. All right. However, look at that junction point right here. Something big was going to happen, and the price has come down, hit, saved itself. It's still just under the average. Okay, I've got a 40-day average. All right, so it's still sort of sitting under that, and then we just have to see, but it's definitely climbing over this and starting to move up. All right, you can see here it's come down, bang, bang. It's not recovering. Even on the MACD and the histogram, it's starting to turn. Okay, it's starting to turn. But what could happen is it could come up and then go for another dip. Okay, this could recover, starts to climb up, could even climb right back up here, and then it's going to dip. Okay, so we don't 100% know. Looking reasonably decent at the moment, but again, we don't know. It takes time. If it falls, I mean, there's that 3,000 mark that I did mention before, and there's the 48 that it could hit as well. So there's two lower levels that we could hit. Okay, and I tell you what, if it gets to them, get ready to buy some Bitcoin, for fuck's sake. You'd want to look at it when it's around here, man, that's for sure. What I've done, actually, let's go one more thing. I'm going to show you Ripple. If you don't like Ripple, okay. You don't like Ripple, you don't have to watch, okay? But I saw this coming a while ago. This is on the weekly, moving down, and you really see she's flattening out and bottoming out, okay? On the stochastic, the RSI, it's this stochastic RSI together, yeah? You can see long term that she's crossed over, starting to make a move up, she's starting to turn, and this is going to do the same thing, but these probably won't cross until about here. So they're moving up, they're turning, we're having a positive direction. Can something push those down even further? Yeah, Yeah, if it's manipulated, yeah, which it is, so it could. But I think we're going to have some good recovery in Ripple, okay? Going to come up, and but see, big moves on here doesn't mean a big move up there. It's going to shoot up there. It's just showing you it's the residual sort of movement or the velocity of trade that it's returning back up to a high point. But look how low it is here, right? Look how low. You know, there's a lot of room for it to move up there. It's been way oversold. Now there's movement looking to come back and buy back in. Look at the bars. Yeah. Okay, so that's Ripple's outlook, and I've been watching this for about the last 2 weeks, just watching it come down, watching these come down. Okay, so I think Ripple's looking good for a move. Let's go to OMG. What I've actually done the other day, I still hold a bit of EOS, I still hold a bit of Tron. I've sold off all my other coins. I bought a big bump in Litecoin at the moment, just letting that hold just for a bit of speculation, see what's going to do. Okay, I need to go to dollar, but I am going to jump back into these coins later. I am expecting a slightly lower move, but it's pretty tight at the moment, pretty tight, you know. I'm just going to have to wait and see which way I want to go. Alright, so again on the weekly, alright, pretty much still sort of following the these movements. You know, that's still the low, but we can move the low over here because that's just about the same thing. It's at the same level is what I mean. Yeah, I actually prefer myself to put these points at the bottom of the candlestick rather than the wick. But it's just depends how far these and the way that these climb. Okay. Now, gee, I'm using different types of indicators. Oh my God. Let's go back to me. So look, I'm using a whole lot of different tools. Fuck, I must be a fraud. No, I'm just trying to reduce my risk. That's what they're for, okay? So at the end of the day, guys, just let's chill out. Get a grip. Turn off the bullshit. Do a bit of learning. Have some fun. Watch how things go. Take some experiments, but don't use your money on stupid moves if you don't feel confident that it's going to move that way, okay? Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there for now. Had a bit of a quick look. I think that's the end. That's all I really need to say for now. So if I got flack for this, whatever. I wish the best of you, all of you who enjoy these videos. Please subscribe, please like, please share. I don't do them that often, but when I do them, I'm not here to speak shit. Have a good day, man. I'll see you next time.